Hello? I forgot to turn the music on. Wait, I forgot to turn the music on. I was supposed to do that like 3 minutes ago. How's this volume? Hey, dudes! How's this sound? Is this good? Is it solid for you? Oop, did you hear that? My bad. Hello? Hello? Hello, everybody! Welcome, we're reading in my assholes today. And I'm gonna be live the entire week up until MCC, which really is all of the days that I would normally be live, plus Wednesday and Saturday being MCC, but minus Thursday because I will be in London on Thursday doing some London shenanigans. But hello, welcome everybody. Arrogant Arrow, thank you for the Prime. All subs for this next 30-day period are going towards funding merch for mods, which I realized I meant for this to be 400? 800 is a great goal for the month in general, but once we hit halfway, that's the merch for the mods. And then the rest is just bonus. And then also, I have plans for the rest of the streams. I'm not sure if Spore is going to happen in this trip, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to go home and do it. I also have a bunch of plans for all the streams I do once I am home, which is including modded Stardew, the world that we had started together, Spiritfarer, or any other story game for our bi-weekly story games. We're going to start literally immediately as soon as I'm home. Afterlife, we're going to do a whole day as the Half-Wyverian, and there's a bunch of new hard mods on Afterlife, so it'll be an extra challenge. I'm sorry my trip to England this time made it so the streams were incredibly difficult, and I really only did like 4 so far, but I'm going to stream all the way up until MCC, except for Thursday. I have plans for all of the streams that I'm going to do. I want to get like a really good schedule for every time I'm home and get right back into streaming really hard. Until I have to go again, because then VidCon is kind of like shortly after that, but is the music too loud or is it good? I feel like it's good. Today we're gonna read Am I the Assholes? I actually already pulled out a bunch that like, sorry, I just got a text from Scott. We're having a pizza party tomorrow. We're having pizza tomorrow because he's feeling so much better. He's eating normal food. We're eating pizza tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really excited about all the streams for when I'm back home because I have a little bit more of a stable kind of goings-on when I'm back home. But I'm going to try and really get that sorted out here, too. I feel like this is all bumpy and crooked. Why is my part crooked? That's not the middle, I just realized. My head's crooked. Tilda Rachel, thank you for subscribing. Bulb, JJ Pluska, Navinut, It's Shannon, Plants Guy. Thank you guys all for subscribing. Castellation, thank you for subscribing. Cool. Okay. So I already pulled out a bunch of really good Am I the Assholes, and we're just gonna do a chatting, reading all of these, imparting our judgment on people that may or may not have been assholes will be the deciding factor. Manic, thank you for subscribing. Yikes, it's Ellie, thank you for subscribing. Thank you guys so much. I do need to know how the sound is, because after I did rating Scrungy Cats, I realized that the music that stream was like way too quiet. Can't even hear it in the recording. So can you hear it? Is it good? Could it be louder? Could it be quieter? It's Riley, thank you for subscribing. Tilda Rachel, thank you for gifting 2 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Look, I got a new replacement pearl necklace, but it's got a little flower instead because they don't have the heart one at Urban Outfitters anymore, so I got a replacement, but it's a little flower instead, and I like it. I missed my pearls. I need to clutch them when these people are assholes and think that they're not. I need to clutch my pearls. Alright. Well, I think let's just get right into reading some Am I the Assholes? I opened a bunch of them. Most of them pretty short, actually, except for the ones that seem like especially juicy, where like maybe we have a lot that could be said on these. There's also one update that we'd have to go back and read. No, you know what? I'm just gonna delete that one because I just realized I don't know how to find the original. Yeah, we got a bunch of good ones that I think we'll have a good time talking about. All right. Plant Sky, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. That's already almost 100, which is 1/4 of our goal for the mods. I don't know how I accidentally did that many, but is the music too loud? Someone said the music's too loud and they can't hear me. Is that true for anybody else? Because if it isn't true for everybody else, we are not going to touch it. Newful, thank you for the Prime. Thank you for subscribing. No, is it good? Okay, we leave it then. If the volume is an issue, it might actually just be your Twitch, and you might want to refresh. You might want to play around with some settings, see where maybe something went wrong. All right, first one. Am I the asshole for being livid at my now husband? We're gonna need more than that. That's just simply not enough to know what's going on. My 33 female husband, 30 male, and I got married last week. I had been super chill throughout the whole wedding planning and during the actual event because I know shit happens, and if anything goes wrong or not exactly how we wanted, it's not that big of a deal and may even make the wedding more memorable for the guests. That's a good attitude. That's a great attitude, in fact. The one thing that I told my husband I didn't want to happen was I didn't want him smashing the cake in my face. I'm realizing right now I might be with her on that. I don't think I want that either. I had a suspicion that he would find it funny to do it, so during the planning I flat out told him not to do it. I don't think it's funny. I don't want to mess up my makeup that took hours to apply, and I don't want cake on my expensive wedding dress. Honestly, can we throw that whole tradition in the trash? Who enjoys that, for any occasion ever, having their face smashed into a cake? I have luckily never had it happen to me at any occasion where there has been a cake for me. And I think that if it had happened to me, I would simply break down crying. I think I would have a panic attack. I think I would break down crying and it would ruin the entire occasion for me. Maybe that's just me. I've seen videos of people getting their face smashed in cake and they love it. And you know what? Maybe that's for you. It's not for me and it's apparently not for her. And I have a feeling he didn't listen. I have a feeling he didn't listen. That's step one of being a new husband. Just listen to your wife. Bare minimum. I told him I would be livid if he did it. He promised that he wouldn't. Did he say promise? Because I take promise as a big deal. I think that's a very significant thing to say. Well, come the cake cutting time, what did he do? Smashed the cake in my face. It got on my dress and it messed up my makeup, just like I knew it would. I'm pretty sure his friends convinced him to do it. Not that that makes it any better. No, that makes it worse, in fact, that he had his mind changed by his friends. Where's his backbone? Where'd that go? Did he have one? I kept it together, went and cleaned myself up, and put on a smile for the rest of the reception, but afterwards, I let loose on him. I yelled at him that this was the one thing I asked him not to do, and he promised that he wouldn't, and he told me I was being dramatic, that it's not that big of a deal, and we should just be enjoying our time as newlyweds. So was I being overly dramatic? I want to say no. It does kind of stink that ruins, like, the entire occasion, but that wasn't you who ruined it. In fact, he's saying we should be enjoying our time as newlyweds as if you're the reason that you can't. He's the reason. It's him. He was the one that caused the problem. It wasn't you. It was him. You're not the problem. I think if you explicitly ask someone to promise not to do something because you would be so utterly uncomfortable with it, you do not want it to happen to you. It's day one as a husband and you failed. You stay literally day one and you failed at the absolute first thing you could have done for your wife. Your friends convinced you to do it? That's even weaker. That's even sadder. Tell them no, because this is my new wife and I love and respect her. And she doesn't want me to do this, and so I won't. Maybe they'll clown you, and let them, because they're losers then. I'm going in on his friends, because if it really was just he was broken down by his friends, that makes it worse for me. Rather than him just thinking, oh, I'm going to do it anyway, but I'm going to tell her I'm not going to do it and it's going to be funny. But to have been convinced by his bros, in my mind, makes it worse. I hate that as a thing. Smashing somebody's face in cake. And especially if it's a tradition at weddings and you specifically don't want that one at your wedding, all you do is don't do that. That's all you had to do. Oof. Yeah, she's definitely not the asshole. And she kept it together until they were alone. Screaming is never, like, the thing that I would want to do. But I do believe it is a valid reaction and emotion to be having. Screaming's not an emotion. I wish it could be. I wish it was. I would relate to it hard. But, he just didn't listen to her. She asked for one thing from him as a new husband, and he just didn't do that. The one thing. The only thing. Reddit comments, you didn't want a trashy wedding and you married someone who did. I hope this works out for you. I've never been to a wedding where the bridal couple smashed cakes in each other's faces. Sounds dreadful. Every wedding I've been to, they do that. I do hate that as a thing, though. Some people like it, some people don't. And when they don't like it, don't do it. It is a little bit of a red flag. It's like a minor red flag where they absolutely can work on it. They need to work on communication. He needs to understand that when she says, like, hey, I really don't want this to happen. Promise me. That's where it bothers me also. I take promising seriously. You promised. And you broke trust. I get it's over cake. But obviously the point isn't even necessarily cake in the grand scheme of things. The red flag's that he crossed a boundary, even a small one. And is now saying that she's ruining their honeymoon. And their after-wedding bliss. Don't promise things you're not going to keep. Especially, he either knew he wasn't going to keep it either, or his friends convinced him to break it, and that's worse. Both are bad. Both are bad. Yeah. The music is suddenly too loud, right? It's suddenly... Is that better? Like by a nudge? Yeah, they can work on it, because all he needs to do is understand that when she says, like, I need you to promise me this, she means it. You need to listen to her. You need to hear her out, and you need to respect that that's something she's not comfortable with, and then not do the thing. A therapist can very easily explain that to you. In fact, any human being, in fact, every comment on this thread explained it to you too. But maybe couples therapy, just immediately, because you're newly married and we don't want it to just we don't want to throw the whole thing in the trash maybe yet. But it is a small red flag in the fact that he's willing to make promises and then just be lying, just up front. And now, how do you know you can trust him with any small thing that might make, like, a world of difference for your comfort level and, like, stress and anxieties and mental health? I wouldn't feel safe in a home with someone, like, even for a small thing, I can't trust them. You know what I mean? But it can be saved. I think he's just a little bit of an idiot. I don't think he's malicious. I think he's a little bit of an idiot. What else did Reddit say? Let's see. Not the asshole. You. Don't do this one thing. Him does it. You are livid. Him surprised Pikachu face. Literally. Why do I get the feeling you should be talking to a divorce lawyer? I don't think it's that serious of a red flag. It could be if he's willing to take this to, like, a whole other level. Right now, we only see, like, a small smidge of a problem that, although also the way he reacted when you were upset with him is, for reasons, a separate red flag. Can we talk about that? The way he responded to her being upset by him clearly breaking a promise that he knows that he did, either by, like, he knew he was going to do it in the first place, or his friends convinced him. He should absolutely understand why she's upset. But then to tell her she's being dramatic? That's a second different flag. That's a different flag now. That you're not hearing why she would be upset when you clearly broke her trust, even over such a small thing. Anyway, Batwitch, thank you for subscribing. So Smalls, Qualms, Newful, thank you guys all for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. Minrose, thank you for the Prime. I think I missed that one before. Yeah, you're not the asshole. And he's showing some early, although be honest. In your entire relationship before committing to marriage, were there never any other flags for communication? It's not your fault if you didn't see them. It's not your fault if you didn't see it as a big problem. Were they there? It's time to go to therapy together now. To save, hopefully, this marriage, because I think it can be saved. But he's got some work to do. Amari, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you know what? It may be valid to say, people get defensive when you yell. So maybe if you went to him and were like, I asked you for one thing, like, just wholeheartedly upset. I asked you to not do this one thing and you did it and it really hurt me. Maybe he would have met, not that this is your responsibility. He should have met you with reasonable reaction no matter what. But I'm not a fan of yelling, just personally. Doesn't help me in communication problem. Like, if there's a communication problem, yelling's not the thing that's going to help it either. But I would hope maybe he would respond better. But it is a him issue. It's definitely still a him issue. Jane M, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yelling makes me cry. But I get why she's yelling. It's not her. It's still him. It's still a him problem. All right. Am I the asshole for letting my friend eat the food my pregnant wife wanted? Only if you went out and got your pregnant wife exactly what she wanted after you gave it away. How dare you? I'm already upset. What did you do? My wife is pregnant and has a lot of cravings. On Sunday night, we had some of my friends over and I had cooked 2 dinners. I had cooked some mac and cheese and I had also cooked a traditional food from my wife's country. My wife was craving the traditional food and had said she'd not eat the mac and cheese so she could eat the traditional dish. She got kind of sick at some point and went to lie down and I didn't want to eat yet and said she'll eat later when she gets up. Most of my friends wanted to try out the traditional dish and mac and cheese was left untouched. Then another friend of mine arrived and asked him if he wanted to eat and he said yes. I saw that there was only 1 plate left of the traditional dish, but out of politeness I had to ask him what he preferred and he said the traditional dish, so I gave him the last plate. Okay. Half an hour later, my wife got up and she was hungry. She went to make her plate and she saw the traditional dish was over and she got upset and said, "You didn't keep any for me?" I said the guys wanted to try it out. She started tearing up and said, "I told you I was craving it and you supposedly made it because I was craving it." One of my friends asked why I can't make some more, but the ingredients were finished and the grocery store was closed, so I couldn't get any more ingredients at that moment. Mate. She went to bed tearing up and didn't eat anything. She didn't eat anything! She didn't want mac and cheese. That you did this. This is your fault. My friends told me that she's acting like a spoiled kid and I should ignore her, get better friends. Sorry. But I can't help but feel like an asshole for not keeping her plate. You are an asshole, actually. All you had to do, because it sounds like you have bad friends. Because first of all, saying that she's acting like a spoiled child when she's pregnant. I'm assuming his friends are men only because I don't think they understand what it means when you're pregnant and you need... Cravings are another breed when you're pregnant. It is not just like, I'm feeling like tacos today. That's not how it works. She went to bed not eating. She's a pregnant woman. Sounds like you need better friends because also what you should have done when you had only 1 plate of food left and you had 1 more friend arrive is explain to them, "Hey, I made this. This is like a traditional dish from where my wife is from. And she's pregnant and craving it, so I have to put this one aside for her and there is no more. I'm really sorry, but I have mac and cheese. Is that all right?" A good friend, any good human being would be like, "I completely understand. Yeah, I'll just have mac and cheese. It's fine. I was late. Your wife wanted you to make this food for her. I want her to get some." That's a good friend and a good husband. Maybe you should have made more, too. If you knew you were having this many people over to your house... You thought they... Why? First of all, can we talk about this spread? 1 dish of traditional food. Not enough to feed the amount of people he was having over because he also had a dish of mac and cheese. Is just strange to me. This one's just me being nitpicky. Because sure, you can be serving 2 different dishes of food and hope that both will get a little bit eaten. So, because, 1 is not enough to feed everybody. But why'd you pick a traditional food and then mac and cheese? Why'd you do it like that? You could have made more of the traditional food or make something more appropriate to make like a full meal. Maybe make a side that goes with it. Maybe make a second meal from this country, whatever this traditional dish, wherever it comes from. I just think it's strange you picked mac and cheese. But that one's not really the problem at all. The problem is you should have saved a plate of food for your wife who was pregnant and this is the one thing she asked for, and you went and cooked it for her. And I think your gut is telling you are an asshole, even though your friends are saying that she's a child and you should ignore her. You should tell them that's unreasonable. And get better friends, because a good friend would have been like, "Yeah, I understand. That's, you only have enough for 1 more person. She's not feeling well. She's going to come back down and eat it. That's her food. I'll eat mac and cheese." Mac and cheese is not a balanced meal, also. Is he just... I'm just imagining the scenario as a dinner party because there's many friends have come over, and he made a traditional dish for multiple people to eat, and then only mac and cheese also. It's just strange. Like, if they didn't want the traditional dish, all they have is a scoop of mac and cheese, a plate, maybe, of mac and cheese, and that's it. I just think that's so weird. Hey, listen, you can have some good mac and cheese. I've had cauliflower mac and cheese. You put some veggies in there, cauliflower mixed in with the cheese. It's really good. I just like the idea of the juxtaposition of a fully set dining room table, and the only two dishes on the table are a really elaborate traditional dish from this specific country and a bowl of mac and cheese. Who's gonna pick the mac and cheese? He should have just made two. Anyway, he's still the asshole anyway. Even if he thought this was, he thought more people would eat some mac and cheese, maybe even have a little of both, which that's where I'm even more confused, is that doesn't go together. Make something that maybe goes together. Have a salad. Maybe some type of, I don't know what this dish is, so I can't really speak. But yeah, you are the asshole. And you even said you feel like the asshole, even though your friends are saying you should ignore her. First of all, are they married? Because I feel bad for their wives. The answer is never to ignore your pregnant wife. Ever. Just for any reason at all. Ever. There's no question you can ask that would have the answer, ignore your pregnant wife. It doesn't exist. The question doesn't exist. So, you fucked up there. This is the best comment at the top. You are the asshole. 1, you should have set a plate aside for her at the beginning. I wish I had even thought of that, because that is 100% correct. As soon as she went to bed, you should have fixed up a plate and put it away for her. That was her food. At the beginning, not at the end, when one last friend walked in and can see that there is enough food, but then you have to say, oh, you can't eat that though. That's awkward. You didn't want to do that. I get that you felt bad because your friend wanted to try it. Shouldn't have even been out in the first place. Should have been put away at the beginning. 2, why are you letting your buddies shit talk your wife? Why are you? And then somebody commented, 3, having a get together with a bunch of friends while the wife is sick. I don't think that one's valid because she got sick halfway through. She wasn't sick before. I'm sure she probably wanted to do this gathering. She was excited about the food. He should have saved a plate at the beginning. I think a lot of issues in relationships, and this can be communicated and this can be saved. In fact, he feels bad, so he's obviously remorseful. But just a single thought for the other person, which is meant to be your partner and your teammate. Think of them for just a second and think, this food was important to her and she's pregnant and craving, and my wife, and I love her. Let me put some aside before more people come over. You're the asshole, but you feel bad, and so I think that you can save this. I don't think that all is lost. All hope is lost. Maybe drop the friends, though. Maybe drop the friends or get them some therapy and their wives some therapy, because if they think it's a valid thing to say, just ignore your pregnant wife. I worry for them and anyone who may date them. And any child of theirs. All right. Yeah. Sounds like he needs to go up before he loses his wife. Yeah, he needs to go apologize, definitely. I think he knows he needs to do that, too. I feel like I have encountered a lot of people that just don't think for their partner ever. And I get it. You're both individual people. It's important for you both to be dependent in a lot of ways, and not exclusively codependent, but you need to be thinking of them. Sometimes. Especially when it comes to their country's traditional food and they're your pregnant wife. Just spare a thought. Just even one sometimes. Honestly, very many more than that. You need to be sparing a lot more thoughts than that for your partner. You need to spare them often, in fact. And if you're not ready to sign up for that, maybe shouldn't have. You have a baby on the way, my dude. Am I the asshole for begging my daughter not to have any more children? I think this one might be messy. It's also a little bit long. I, 58 female, and my husband, Rob, 61 male, have 2 kids. Erica, 35 female, and Mike, 30 male. Both kids are married, but Erica and her husband, Steve, 38 male, live nearby to us, and the issue concerns them. They work full-time and have 2 kids, 5 male and 4 female. 5 years ago, my daughter asked my husband and me if we would be willing to become their full-time child care so she could continue to work and afford their comfortable life. How comfortable? This is fine. A lot of grandparents are willing to do this. A lot of them are retired. That's not necessarily a problem. We agreed, but we didn't discuss much more than watching the baby and their expectations. I was a teacher and retired 2 years before I could take my pension, so my husband continued to work, and we made a few sacrifices like vacations and adding to our savings, but we were able to make it work so I could take my full pension at 55, and my husband retired a year later. Okay. Nothing too bad yet. Our arrangement worked, and we enjoyed having the kids, except by year 3, 2020, we started to feel like they were taking advantage of our help. In 2020, during the lockdown, they were both working from home. They expected us to keep the kids all day, and we wanted to split time. This is wrong. Wait. They expected us to keep the kids all day, and we wanted to split time week since their preschool daycare was closed. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. I really don't know. Something got messed up there. We settled on 2 with them and 3 with us. I think they mean days a week. Split time week. Okay. 2 days with them, 3 days with the grandparents. And my son-in-law complained about it pretty much every day. Things got better when the kids were able to school. Okay. I do get, it's not over yet, but I do get that when you start working from home, that doesn't mean that you can take care of your kids on the time that is meant to be work time. It is still the same arrangement. And as long as that was still working for you before, when they were working out of the house, working in the house, they do still need the extra hand because they're still doing work. It is still a valid form of doing work from your own home. We still need to spend the same amount of time on your work. However, I think it is fair to ask that you split some days where they do keep their kids because they are home and maybe can make that arrangement work. You know, at least communicate how you might be able to make that work. Fast forward to year 4, 2021, we have a bit of a blow up over kindergarten. My daughter did not want 5 male to start school in the unknown. In the unknown? Where is he going to school? The void? But I insisted that he needed to go because I needed the break. I also asked for 4 female to spend more time at the preschool daycare program. Son-in-law complained about the cost, but I pushed anyway. How comfortable is the lifestyle, though? It's absolutely fair that your grandmother is asking for a break at this point and want your kids to go into school because they can't keep up with taking care of your kids full time forever. It was nice that they offered it while they were young, but at some point, they are your kids. And maybe you need to rediscuss this arrangement. A discussion needs to happen. The kids of the grandparents don't seem very good at communicating because they're just complaining. They relented, and then this past spring, son-in-law pushed for us to take the kids for a week so they could go on vacation. We said they had to take the kids, and he said they couldn't afford it. No one went on vacation. Good, you gotta put your foot down sometimes. If you're like, I cannot just say yes every time. Sometimes I need a break. I cannot take this full week. I need a vacation. When did grandma last get a vacation, huh? Maybe that is too much background, but I feel like the context is important for what I said. Okay, so here's the problem. My daughter and I were casually having a conversation the other day, and she mentioned she had an OBGYN appointment and tests. I asked if everything was okay, and oh, I see. I just remember the title. Oh, no, they want another kid. Oh, God. I asked if everything was okay, and she said Steve and her were trying for baby number 3. Who's taking care of that one? You don't want to talk to mom and be like, hey, we're thinking of having another kid, and I know that you are literally full-time responsible for my kids right now. I wouldn't want to add another child to that burden without talking to you first. That would be something you should have done. Or say like, hey, we're planning on having another kid, and I know you spent a lot of your, like the last 4 years taking care of her too, and it would be a lot to add a third and just expect you to do that. What are you feeling? What do you think? How can we maybe make a new arrangement? Maybe we give you more time off. I can pick up more of the load. Also, you couldn't afford to take... How many things did you say you couldn't afford? You couldn't afford daycare. You couldn't afford vacation with the kids. You should know what a baby costs, because I don't know how you think you can't afford a vacation with 2 children, where like most of the time children are free in places that you go. I don't know how far you're going, or you're taking a plane. Maybe drive somewhere, get a hotel, make the kids share a bed. You and your husband share a bed. It really is not... Where are you trying to go? You just don't want the kids, I think is really what happened. But you can't afford those. You want another kid. I asked her what her childcare plan was, and she looked at me like I was crazy, and she said, us. You're changing the terms of the agreement, and you need to speak with your grandmother before you do that. She agreed to 2 children. Also, is going above and beyond to take care of them full time. You're just going to chuck a 3rd child in and be like, it's the same. It's the same. You're already doing it. Just add 1 more in there. Also, a fresh baby. Like a fresh new one. Those ones are even more responsibility and like way more easy to do something bad, to do something wrong. They were like really delicate. I said that it would be nice. It would have been nice if she told me this before trying for another baby. She said it was none of my business. I said it is if I'm providing 5 more years of babysitting. I then told her that we were not a viable childcare option for her new baby and begged her to reconsider. 4 females going off to kindergarten. We feel like we are getting our days back to some extent and refuse to start all over again with an infant. Erica said we were making her choose between her dream of 3 kids and financial stability. I argued that she has 2 beautiful children and they are financially stable. They shouldn't ruin that with another. She's trying to blame her grandmother for her not being able to have 3 kids and financial stability. That's you. That's your life. That's not your grandmother's. They shouldn't ruin that with another baby. I might be the asshole because Erica feels like we should have told her sooner. You didn't know she was planning on having a 3rd baby. What were you supposed to say? Hey, by the way, in case you're thinking of having another kid. Just on a whim, because I don't know. Just feel like throwing it out there just in case, because if I don't, I'm wrong. I feel like I'm not because I never agreed to a lifetime of raising their kids. Edit, we will continue to watch our 2 grandchildren after school and during the summer as this is what we have agreed to and we enjoy it. School provides a nice break for us and then we do fun things with the kids in the summer. We just don't want to start again with another baby. That's... Your daughter's spoiled. I'm sorry. Your daughter and her husband are both spoiled. And I'm not gonna lie. I think somewhere along the line in those 5 years of taking care of the other 2 children, where you didn't put your foot down as much and like kind of set this expectation. Not that this is your fault. Very clearly not your fault. However, a lot of times enabling that is when these kinds of things come to like a climax of like miscommunication and anger and upsetness because you were not on the same page. Should have been communicated about maybe sooner that like, hey, we're not really comfortable with how much responsibility this has ended up being. But I guess it kind of worked itself out is why she didn't feel the need to. And I don't blame anyone who doesn't bring something up because they don't feel the need to if it worked itself out. But you always have to look at where you might be enabling some bad behaviors and then it's harder to work that out with them later. But yeah, she was a little bit letting herself be pushed over, but I guess she just didn't mind it and didn't think that this was going to be where it led to. And it worked itself out because the kids got older, went to kindergarten, and they had more free time. They didn't see a 3rd kid coming, so I don't blame her at all. But gotta be careful where you might accidentally enable some bad behavior because you let something slide that you should have stood up for yourself. You should have stood up for yourself is all I'm saying. But it's not your fault that this is where you ended up because you didn't stand up for yourself. It's definitely not your fault at all. You're not the asshole. But I wish you stood up for yourself, is all. Reddit says not the asshole. Red flags should have been raised when they wanted to go on a holiday without their children at this age. Parenting is not something you take a break from, especially at 4 to 5 years old. I mean, in one sense, I think I get what they're saying. Parenting isn't something you get to take a break from. You're always the parent. You do get to take breaks, though, but that's not what's happening here. They sound very unprepared to be parents at all, let alone for 3 children. For clarity, by take a break, I meant taking prolonged vacations, and of course, it's fine to occasionally drop your children off you. But yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. This is like such a great grandmother too, that is willing to be there for your 2 kids as much as she was willing to. And maybe even still would be willing to help you out with the 3rd if you at least maybe, how much like acknowledgement for what she's done for you have you given her? How much have you appreciated her for it and shown her that? How much have you maybe tried to go out of your way to take some responsibility off of their hands so that they can have a break as well, because you're focusing on the fact that you need a break and you need all of these things for your life. You need 3 children. You need financial stability. You need a break from your children and need to be able to work. What have you ever asked once? What does your mother need after she put aside 5 years of her life for caring for and raising your children? Don't have a kid if you're not prepared for it. Don't have a kid if you can't take care of it. It is okay to accept or even ask for help in the first place, but don't take advantage of it. You're not in a position where you can care for a third child because your child care plans aren't going to work because your grandparents aren't okay with that, and that's allowed. And if that means that you can't have a third kid because that would mean not being financially stable, that means you can't have a third kid, and it's not your grandmother that ruined it. I do feel bad for the grandmother because that's like a spoiled child, and I don't know where that would have come from. But also the husband's spoiled too. They both are. Real quick, I'm going to run off and go grab water because I forgot to bring it in the room, and I've been doing so much talking. I'm so parched. I will be right back. We will continue reading Am I the Assholes in just a little bit. All right, dudes. How are we feeling? How are we doing? We having a good time? We having a good day? We hanging? We feeling good? We liking reading Am I the Assholes? Man, what a great granny. Just completely unappreciated. Why have kids when you can have cats? Why have kids when you can have cats? Maybe get a third cat. Or maybe just get a cat as your third kid, rather. And just don't have a kid that you can't take care of on your own. Also, I don't see how they'd be financially stable with a third kid, even if the grandparents took care of them. Like, you still have to pay for all of the things for those kids. Plus, I feel like it's putting off being able to take your kids on a vacation where, like, I don't know, man. Don't be a dick to your mom. Don't treat your grandmother like that. That's not her grandmother, it's her mother. Why have kids when you can have cats? She raised a trashy daughter and now she gotta raise the grandbabies. Hell nah. How did she end up like that? I don't think that she was raised that way. I think she just ended up that way. Maybe her husband was a bad influence because he's just as bad. Okay, am I the asshole for... this one's boring. It's short and boring. Here, this one I wanted to read because I have no idea where it's going to go. I have no idea what my opinion's going to be. It feels like a real wild card one where this might be like a difficult conversation of like, what is the true answer? I don't even know yet what is the issue. But here's the title. Am I the asshole for forbidding my brother from wearing a dress? Let's hear this one out. I, 32 female, am getting married in early July. I'm not going to say yes yet because I want to see where this goes, and I know that it's about a wedding, and I wonder if it's about the dress code. I wonder if it's about him being in the bridal party. If that was the case, if I'm honest, maybe I would say if you want all the men in the bridal party, or the groom's party, rather, maybe then there's a valid case here. So I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. In general, yeah, don't forbid people from wearing what they want. However, in a wedding state, like, scenario. This could be maybe not bad. Could be clickbait. This happens all the time. Let's give it a shot. I, 32 female, I'm getting married in early July. I have a 15-year-old brother as well as a twin sister and an older brother, 32 female and 34 male. My younger brother was a later in life baby and absolutely the golden child. He's spoiled as hell and a bully to boot, but he cries to my parents that everyone else is the problem and they believe him. You have something against your brother. Even if he really is that way, there's some issues here. You should communicate out with your family and your parents. My parents, 57 female and 58 male, are great, but they are a bit older, very naive about many things, and think the sun shines out of my little brother's ass, which has set the stage for this. Okay, let's see. We'll see. I love my brother, but our parents are allowing him to become a coddled, disrespectful shit. This is a dysfunctional family. That's okay, though. This happens. I found him looking at alt-right stuff online. This has already gone a direction I did not expect. Okay, hold on. What? Okay. Oh, no. And while I don't believe he's that far gone yet, I am truly worried about the person he's becoming. My parents believe it's just a phase because he's a sweet boy. I wouldn't... Okay. Do kids go through phases? Yes, absolutely, definitely. Is a 15-year-old aligning with alt-right rhetoric a phase? Even if it was a phase, maybe we just don't let that go unchecked. Maybe we start monitoring what he's doing. Because I think that was an important one to not let go unchecked. Does this match my sweater? That's cute. Okay, yeah, maybe even if it's a phase, he's not gonna come out of there at whole. I don't think he's gonna come out of there as a whole person anymore. You don't let a phase like that just go. Maybe sit him down. Oh, but he's such a sweet boy, though, they said. Okay, I'm not on the brother's side anymore. I don't know where this goes, though. So let's see. My brother has recently decided to... Oh, all right. Now I'm not on... Now I don't know what side to be on. My brother has recently decided to come out as non-binary. I just don't like the way that's stated, just in general. But I'm going to just keep my judgments for the end, for now. I just don't like the way it's in quotes. Maybe, you know, it's also just really strange that he's going down like an alt-right path, but then also is coming out as non-binary. So like, he's kind of all over the place, but let's not do that. He is insisting on wearing a dress to the wedding. Okay, but he's not. I don't make a habit of policing other people's identities, but it is crystal clear to me that he thinks this is a joke. I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know. Literally the only time this is ever brought up is when discussing my wedding. He busts out with how he needs to wear a dress to be his true self and then laughs every time. He can't even keep a straight face. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever. This kid needs therapy. Something really is. You're right. They came out as non-binary and she's continuing to write I just don't really know what to believe about this brother, though. I'm going to say they just to, cover all the bases because I just really don't know. This is a strange story. And I think there's a lot of context with their family from growing up that, like, I'll just never be able to understand, but all right. Can't keep a straight face, thinks it's the funniest thing ever. It's also a strange joke. May I quotes the joke, though? Because they want to wear a dress to the wedding because supposedly they want to wear a dress to the wedding because it's funny, but I don't know. I've just never known a person to wear a dress for the joke. You're still like, they're going to go to a wedding in a dress. Like, they're going to commit to doing that. They think it's funny, but I don't know, man. I don't know. This is so weird. Honestly, I'd say fuck it. Whatever, if not for one of the groomsmen, my fiance's childhood neighbor and close friend, James. He's very recently started his transition and still presents rather feminine, which is a source of stress for him. My brother met James at my fiance's birthday barbecue a few weeks ago. I'm just saying that's like such a commitment to the joke. I can't get past that. My brother met James at my fiance's barbecue a few weeks ago, and this began a few days after, which is another reason why I believe it's a way for him to harass James because he thinks it's funny. But to go out of his way to wear a dress to an entire wedding? there's something wrong with him. If that's genuinely a joke, he really needs therapy, because that's like a really scary path he's taking. To think it's such a funny thing that he'll commit to wearing a whole ass dress to a wedding to make a joke out of a trans guest. If that's true. I don't know. I knew this one would be crazy, but I did not know what I was getting myself into. Okay, I believe this is a way for them to harass James because they think it's funny. They ask why James is allowed to wear a suit and be a groomsman while my brother is not allowed to wear a dress or be a bridesmaid since they're the same. Again, while laughing his ass off. Okay, now I don't like it. Now I'm upset. Now I don't like it because now it's a problem. I didn't know what to believe about him, but he is, you know, reading alt-right stuff online. Although I just am afraid of the commitment to the bit that they came out as I get the quotes now, but still. Came out as non-binary and want to wear a dress for a joke is just like a really far place to take things for a joke. Like number one, it's a bad joke, but if you wanted to make the joke, you can just use your words. It still makes you a bad person, but like, why do you have to wear a dress and come out as non-binary and go to a wedding? I'm disturbed. He's disturbed, not me. I'm 100% sure that my brother is being a transphobic fuckwad, and I'm dead set on preventing him from mocking James like this. My siblings and fiance see exactly what I see because it's obvious, and are also not okay with this at all. My parents, however, my brother just tells them that they can't tell. Wait. My brother just tells them that they can't tell them his identity. Wait. I'm trying to use they instead, but I do just think this is a kid that's making a fucked up joke, but like, I'm just disturbed by the lengths he's willing to take it. Get him help. Get him in therapy immediately. Also take his Twitter away. And they're being unsupportive if they don't let him, so that I'm just gonna read it as it's written because it's easier. He just tells them that they can't tell him his identity, also while laughing hysterically, and that they're being unsupportive if they don't let him, so that made them immediately take his side. I'm threatening security to remove him if he goes through with this, but that would mean turning my parents away too. One of my friends has said that it shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is, as I'm making it, and he'll only embarrass himself. That's actually kind of true. Like, if it was a genuine wanting to wear a dress, you would be okay with it, is the way that I'm reading this. But I really think James would be uncomfortable. Yeah, for James's sake, maybe not. But also, he would just make an absolute... Like, he would just look like an idiot and make an absolute fool of himself. I sent a text asking when he wants to go dress shopping and talk about his makeup for the wedding, and I got a middle finger emoji back. This kid needs help. He really needs to go see a therapist and get some help. Because... calling the alt-right thing a phase and letting him go down that path, I said that's not a good place to just let someone let a phase. Even if it was a phase, don't let that run unchecked. That's dangerous. Oh no. I kind of feel bad for him, but also, you're not the asshole. I didn't think this is where we were gonna end up with this story. Ooh, top comment on Reddit, and I agree with them already. Not the asshole. I would talk to James and give him a heads up. And then let your brother wear the dress. Offer to go shopping with him, pick one out. $5 says, if you really want to lean in on this, your brother backs down because he's no longer getting a reaction out of you. That's probably entirely possible. And also, I think it's a good idea either way to let James know that this is happening in case he shows up, in case you do want to let him go through with this and maybe embarrass himself. Or if James is like, I really just don't think I could handle that right now because it's incredibly sensitive. And James is in a place where they're not 100% confident and comfortable in themselves in their transition. So maybe it's not worth letting it go that far. Talk to James. I also bet they're right that it wouldn't. He would back down. But also get him help. Get him therapy. He needs help. It's spooky. That's scary. Somebody said, make the little shit wear heels. He'll rethink the whole thing real quick. That's why I don't wear heels. I don't even mess with heels. It's too much. It's too painful. Yeah, everyone's saying to play into it. But definitely I would say check with James first. Because I think he does need a heads up if you do that. Also, though, how oblivious are your parents? They're 100% responsible for whatever path this ends up taking for him, which could go a really bad direction. And they think it's just a phase now, but would they rather risk that or have like big regrets for what happens to their golden child later? I don't know. Man, I wouldn't mess with that. Not the asshole. Your brother's got something up with him, though. Put him in therapy immediately. Am I the asshole for being... Oh, wait. Is this one going to be good? I'll come back to it. There's another one that I think... Here's another hot topic one that I think could be interesting and we can talk about. I'm glad I have you guys to talk through it because sometimes I don't know. And for that one, it was a roller coaster. That went up and down. I was on her side. I wasn't on her side. I was back on her side. Now I'm concerned. Oh. And that is a spoiled child. That one is a pretty messy one. Here's another pretty messy one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister's girlfriend she's not really a lesbian? Is this another clickbait? Or are you just actually the asshole this time? Let's find out. Because I like reading the... We said messiest of the mess. We're getting there. We're going there. I'm ready for it. So my sister, 23 female, has had a girlfriend, 23 female, for about 6 months. We'll call her G. G is the sweetest girl I've ever met, and she loves my sister so much. She's always talking about how she wants to marry her and all of her best qualities, etc., etc. Recently, my sister and I were talking, and I asked her about G, and I asked if they were planning on moving in together anytime soon. My sister laughed and said, hell no. She didn't really want to be with... Oh. My sister laughed and said, hell no. She didn't really want to be with G and just wanted to get the experimenting out before she settles down with someone she actually likes. Am I the asshole for telling my sister's girlfriend she's not really a lesbian, meaning the sister? Oh no, I could cry. That's actually so upsetting. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's way worse than I thought. I'm actually getting teary because that's just like mega dick. Mega dick move. How do you waste a person's time like that? My heart broke for G. The next time G and I talked, she mentioned wanting to go ring shopping for my... Okay, after 6 months. Here's what G needs to learn really quick is... Don't ask that question if you haven't already had the conversation about your future. Like, you should be asking that question knowing that they're going to say yes, because you already have had the conversation, have talked about it, and know that they want to marry you. Also, 6 months is quick. That works for some people. I know somebody that got married after 6 weeks, and they have been married for 7 years. No judgment. But you're definitely not on the same page. That's all I'm saying. Wants to go ring shopping for my sister and wanting me to go with her because she was planning on proposing on their anniversary and wanted to get the perfect ring for the perfect woman. I'm kind of afraid of how good your sister is at lying. That's a bit terrifying, actually. Can we talk about that? A little bit sociopathic. Just like, where is any compassion for just another person's time and life? 6 months. And future. And just mental well-being. Because when she finds out or this relationship ends, because it will eventually, oh no. That's when I told her that what my sister said about not really loving her and not wanting to settle down with a woman. How she was using her for fun. And G started crying and left. I haven't heard from her since. My sister called me and started screaming at me about how I shouldn't have told G what she said and how I'm a horrible sister and their relationship was none of my business. Our family agrees that I was out of line. And my boyfriend went as far as to tell me I was a psycho bitch for telling someone a secret they told me in private. Get this woman out of this family, out of that relationship. Go hit up G, go be best friends, go live together, and go do some healing because you are surrounded by psychopaths. Also, who in their right mind would say to their partner that you're a psycho bitch? This is insane. Do we believe it? This is insane. For those asking, I'm 16. She's my you're 16? Dump the boyfriend. Dump him in the trash immediately. She's my older sister. We live together. G has her own apartment. Just to clarify, my sister knew full and well G wanted to propose to her. She had even sent her the ring descriptions of what she wanted. My sister was not blindsided by this. She knew full and well. So she wanted a ring even, and then was going to say no? Dump the whole boyfriend. Also, your whole family agrees you were out of line? Does no one have anything to say for your sister that is dating a girl that she is not interested in at all, has no interest in even dating women for long term, has no interest in getting married to a woman, and is just taking advantage of this girl's time to get her experimenting out? No one has anything to say about that? Nothing? Nothing at all? No? Okay, that's weird. I don't know. Bit weird. Weird behavior from you. Somebody said the only asshole I see in this story is your sister. I beg to differ. Your sister, your mom, your boyfriend, and everyone else in your family. The only assholes here are you. The only assholes not here are you and G. Yeah, so he said, hey now, don't forget OP's family and boyfriend. They're all assholes too. Oh my god. Honestly, jaw-dropping. That's also not where I expected that story to go. That is some psycho, strange behavior. Not the asshole. Out of line? I don't even think it's out of line. You know, there's only so far that I think a secret is, like, sacred. But when it's something as, like, I would go as far as saying, like, you are a bad person. There's not a lot of mistakes that a person can make outside of, like, the absolute most extreme wrongdoings you can do to a human being. There aren't a lot of mistakes that I think would just automatically make a person a bad person. I think good people make bad decisions, make bad choices, and make mistakes. You are a bad person. May I say evil, perhaps, because that's just 6 months of a person's time who is head over heels in love with you, wants to marry you, buy you a ring, and propose to you. And you say, hell no, I don't even like her. Excuse me? Everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs therapy. How did you even end up that way? And the parents? Oh, don't even. I guess that's where we know it came from. Yeah, they said it's out of line, maybe, to have told the secret. I would very much disagree. I think when a secret is that detrimental to another person, I think you're allowed to tell them. It's like what they tell you when you go to Catholic school, you go to confession, right? And they tell you that, like, whatever you tell the priest, they won't be able to repeat to anybody unless you tell them you killed a person or something like that. Then they kind of have to, because you know what? There's only so far a secret is going to take you. You can't just expect people to keep even the evilest thing that you're in the active, like, currently are doing to somebody that is going to affect their entire life. No, not out of line. Did G deserve to be told? Yes. Okay, so somebody said, out of line totally. Did G deserve to be told? Yes. No. I don't know, man. That's fucked up. Man, I hope G's okay. This whole story was posted 2 hours ago. I hope that G's okay, and I hope that the sister, the younger sister, like, gets out of there. I want G and the younger sister to go off and, like, just live a happy life as friends in an apartment together. But she's 16. Also, what is wrong with this 16-year-old? Whoever she's dating, probably roughly around the same age as her, calling her a psycho bitch. What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Also, if that happened in a text message, not even. Tells parents exactly what he said to you. How dare he? Am I the asshole for not training the person that got the job I wanted? Dude, just shout out to G, wherever you are. I hope you're okay. You will be okay. Jesus Christ. She's obviously not the perfect woman you thought. And the perfect person, the person meant for you, they're out there. They are out there. And maybe one day you'll learn to trust again, because I don't know what I would do if I found out after 6 months of dating somebody, it turns out the whole time they didn't even, not just didn't love me, but they didn't even like me. And just everything they ever told me may as well have been a lie, because how are you going to sit there and differentiate between what were truths and what were lies? They just lied to you for 6 months straight. How the hell do you recover from that? You will, though. Go to therapy. You can. Go to therapy. A lot of it, probably, because also most people are not like that. Most people, that is not how most people would behave. Weird behavior. You're gross. Man, and I know what trust issues are like. I've had some bad partners that have given me some pretty bad trust issues, but nothing like that, honestly. Honestly, that's a whole different thing than what I've ever had to deal with. I've dealt with manipulative. That is a whole other level. Am I the asshole for not training the person that got the job I wanted? Backstory. Been with company for almost 3 years. As assistant to the manager, about 8 months ago, my manager's health took a slight turn. Sucks because they are a fantastic person. And they officially made me assistant manager. Why does it sound like... It is an Office reference, but it is a real story they put in the edit. I was like, this is The Office. You are assistant to the manager? Is that even a real thing? You got promoted to assistant manager? Okay. Since then, I've taken a lot of my manager's responsibilities and have run the department on multiple occasions while they were away for various reasons. Front story. A number of weeks ago, my manager resigned and finished up a couple days later. I put my hand up for the role. All discussion with upper management indicated that I would be next in line. So for the next few weeks, I carried on and ran the department as usual. I should add, with no issues. Last week, a new manager for the department was hired and they started a day later. I'm not sure why I was overlooked and nothing has been told to me, but the new person really knows nothing specific to this department. Managerial skills are still yet to be determined, but I spent the next day essentially teaching them what to do from the ground up. This frustrated me, and so I took annual leave all last week, and my phone hasn't stopped ringing, because the new manager really doesn't know anything about our specific department, and they have no clue what to do day to day. I wouldn't help them. It's not even over. I wouldn't help them. Well, it's not their fault, though. But also, no, they have no part in it. All right, well, I haven't been answering. Sure, they might be a good manager with past experience, but if they were hired over me, then they should be able to do the job, right? My friends are telling me I'm being petty. It is petty. Regardless of if, I support you or not. It is petty, definitely, for sure. And that I should suck it up and help them, but I really feel if they wanted someone that could do the work, they should have promoted me to the role. My leave finishes soon, and I'm conflicted on how I should proceed. I've been intentionally vague here because I do enjoy my job and have no intention of leaving, but who knows? The leave was pre-booked, but they did ask me to cancel it, which I declined. That 1,000,000,000% valid. You took a leave of absence from work that you already had pre-booked and had approved. Just because they happened to hire somebody new at the time that you had this planned does not mean they're allowed to ask you to cancel it, and are definitely not allowed to be upset at you taking your time off that you planned for. That definitely valid. The new manager, feel bad for them because it is not their fault. They're just kind of like in the crossfire of you and whatever upper management decided without telling you that, like, why couldn't you be in the role if you were already doing it and doing a good job? But I don't know. I don't want to support the business overlords in this. Maybe they had a reason and they just don't want to share it with you, or I just don't know. Playing devil's advocate, I don't want to be on the side of the mega boss CEO man because they're never good. What did Reddit say? Not the asshole. If you aren't qualified to be hired in the role, you aren't qualified to train the person in the role. They should have asked the previous manager to do it, because it is fair that they are qualified for the role. They have been a manager before. It's just in this new department, they don't really know how it works. They shouldn't be going to you, because that's honestly just like a slap to the face, because they didn't hire you but need you to train the person they did hire instead of you. What they should do is go to the previous manager to do the training. That shouldn't be your job anymore. If they don't want you for the job, then don't have you do the job. Have the new person do the job and be trained by your previous manager, if that's really the case. But Their boss needs to train them. Once you're back in the office, tell them that they need to talk to their manager about getting trained. Yeah, that shouldn't be your job. Unless you get paid extra for it and that's something you're willing to do. Because then maybe, negotiate a little bit, get a little extra pay for it. But, I know this makes me an asshole, but I can't stop laughing at it. Okay. All right, Reddit agrees. You're not the asshole. You shouldn't be training someone higher up in the company than you. Their boss can train them. Don't answer the phone. And yeah, take your time off that you earned. It is almost up. Enjoy it for those last few days. I'm going to read 2 more. And then I'm going to head out. I'm going to my first British pub quiz. Never done it before. I'm excited. So I'm going to go get ready for that after we're done here. But am I the asshole for being upset over my birthday gift? Let's see. What was the birthday gift? I recently turned 30. Leading up to my birthday, my long-term boyfriend of 4 years asked what I'd like for my birthday. I thought about it, but there wasn't much I wanted. Finally, I asked him to buy me a kimono for my sister's upcoming wedding in August, as mine is old. We'll be flying out to Japan for my sister's wedding and spending time with my family there. We plan to move there next year to be closer to my family, as we met while I was in the UK working. Ooh. My birthday came around and I was excited to see the kimono he got me. I'd left it a surprise as I wanted to see what he'd pick out for me. He knows my favorite colors and styles, so I figured it'd be fine. It wasn't. I opened the box and it was a I don't know how to pronounce this. Hanbok? I think that's probably wrong. For all of you who do not know, it's a Korean traditional dress. You got it wrong, my dude. That's the wrong place. Oh no. He tried. Oh, honey. I asked my boyfriend why he got me this, and he told me it was a pretty kimono, so he thought it'd be good. I told him it wasn't Japanese, but Korean, and he asked me if it mattered. Oh, did I actually say it right? Oh. Hanbok? Maybe. Okay. But Korean, and he asked me if it mattered. That's where he went wrong even more. Maybe he made the mistake and he just thought it was a kimono because he just didn't know any better. You know what? That would maybe be excusable. But then when she said, this isn't a kimono, this is actually a Korean garment, and he said, does that matter? For many reasons, yes. Now, if this was a new relationship, I wouldn't have cared as much. I'd have marked it down as him honestly not knowing the difference or being suckered in by marketing, who don't know the difference, though I'd never asked a new boyfriend to get me something like that. But we've dated for years. You've been to Japan with me several times. How much different does it look? Is it even similar, or did he just see a dress that seemed to be from an Asian country and just thought they're all kimonos? If there's similarities, I could see the mistake happening. Definitely not saying, does it matter? No, they don't look the same. They don't look the same. They don't look the same at all. Well, they're both very pretty. Okay, yeah, they're incredibly different. But I could see him thinking just all maybe dresses that appear to come from Asia can all be called kimonos, but there are different styles. Even after 4 years and having been to Japan, someone can make that mistake. It is an ignorant mistake to make, but that can be okay. He said, does it matter? That bothers me. Yes, it matters. Of course it matters. You've been to Japan with me several times. You've seen me in kimonos. You're learning Japanese. We're even planning to move to Japan, and you don't realize why a hanbok and a kimono are not interchangeable. I asked him to return it as I couldn't wear it, and he got upset saying he tried and it would look good on me, so I should just wear it and not return it. This isn't my culture. I cannot wear this to a Japanese wedding. It's for a wedding at that. To say, maybe you should keep it in, it's still a pretty dress you can wear, that would be one thing, but it's for a wedding. You can't wear that there. You need to understand why you can't do that. You really need to. I admit I got angry at him then, and it led to an argument. I finally told him if he liked it so much, he could wear it, because I wouldn't be. Work on your communication, okay? That's not... You're right, though. You are right. I feel a bit guilty now. I've had time to cool off. It's not his culture, so maybe I should be more forgiving. But surely, having been... I'll say, yeah, maybe if you really feel like that's something you want to talk to him about and apologize for that much, That's fair. But he wants you to wear something that is Korean to a Japanese wedding, and he needs to understand why you cannot do that. You can't do that. That's not how it works. He has to understand the difference. That much is on him. I should be more forgiving, but surely having been involved with me so long and learning about my culture in preparation for a move, even if he made a mistake, he should have realized once I explained that. After you explained it 100%, and he should have been okay with you returning it, getting the money back, buying a proper kimono appropriate for the wedding. The two are not interchangeable, and promptly agree to return it. That's what he should have done. Acknowledge after your explanation, they are not interchangeable. You're right. I'm sorry. I messed up. I'll return it. I'll buy you a proper kimono. I think there's a little bit of pride when somebody buys you something that they were like maybe really excited and proud of and really thoughtful, but they got it wrong. Maybe he's getting a little defensive that he messed up, but he did. He has to acknowledge that. Let your pride go for just a second and understand that your pride is not going to be more important than the fact that you cannot wear a Korean dress to a Japanese wedding. It's not going to work like that. It's not going to work like that. They look so different too. But I get maybe thinking they're all just from the same place. That's definitely ignorant. We're definitely not going to excuse that. That's not ignorant. It's like asking to do tacos for dinner because you're in the mood for Mexican and getting hot dogs instead because they're shaped vaguely the same. Even less so because you would have to argue they come from at least the same, like, general region, like continent, or just at least that. But no, I'm not going to give him any benefit of the doubt. He kind of needed, at least once it was explained to him, he needed to set aside his pride and admit, you know what, I messed up. I'm sorry. I tried. I really did. But I cannot ask you to wear this to a Japanese wedding. I just can't. Well, that doesn't work. All right, let's read one more and I'm going to wrap up. Am I the asshole for not letting my parents move in with me? Because actually, this one's really long. Let's read a juicy, short one. Uh-oh, is this one short? Because it seems juicy. Is that even going to be possible, truly? Nope, that's really long. Oh, no. Let's see. Uh-oh. I think I found a good one. I'm just waiting for it to load to see if it's, like, ridiculously long or not. Why are you taking so long to load, actually? What is up with that? Oh, it is long. Okay, I found one. Tamran, thank you for subscribing. Naren, Little B, Krilly, Monioni, Classy Faye, Little Moon, Clemencia, Bree Cat, Haunt of Harbor, Lady Viking, thank you guys for subscribing. Crab Racket, thank you guys for subscribing. Am I the asshole for snapping at my pregnant sister and her husband? Stop yelling at pregnant people. My 26 female sister, Chelsea, My 26 female sister Chelsea, 33 female, is currently pregnant with her third baby. Her husband John is your typical Disney dad, doesn't do much to help out with his kids, and if he's not at work, he's hanging out with his friends rather than helping look after his home. Yikes. Chelsea is totally okay with this because you can't expect men to keep the house. Yikes. And he has a good income. My family has pretty traditional values. Okay. A couple days ago, Chelsea called me asking if I wanted to come over after work to spend some time with the kids. I love my niece and nephew, and I had some time to spare, so I said sure. I arrived at her house. Mom was there as well, helping out, and she asked if I could go help with some of the chores. I agree. Now, my fiance and I actually planned a date night for that night. We haven't had one in a while because he's on duty almost 24/7. I told my mom and Chelsea I'm going to leave to meet up with my fiance. Mom asked if I can stay back a bit more to help with the kids and dinner and stuff. I say, sorry, but I need to go. I've already stayed for over an hour. Chelsea then says that I'm not being supportive of her and I can stay a little bit longer for moral support. So just not even to actually help, but just sit there? No. Again, I say I can't when Chelsea tells Mom, oh, let her go, it's fine, it's not her fault, she doesn't understand what it's like to have a family. Oh my God. John came home by this time and is listening in on all the commotion, and so I tell him in a pretty annoyed tone, I'll admit, if you had a supportive husband instead of one who shows up when it's convenient for him, you wouldn't need your sister to make up for that support. Everyone looks a bit shocked, then Chelsea says that she's not a working wife, like I'm going to be. Honestly, don't even know what that means, but I'm for sure. Oh no. And that I'm jealous, and brother-in-law says I'm disrespecting them and to leave, which of course I was more than happy to do. That's what she was trying to do the whole time. Mom calls me the next day saying I went way too far, and Chelsea was hurt after hearing me say those things and feels distant from me. She said that I was intentionally making Chelsea sick. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's obviously not my intention at all, and I feel pretty bad now, but also I feel like I said what I said needed to be said. Oh no. Not only did the husband come home within minutes because you were trying to leave and they were like, can you stay a little bit longer and help out? You know, we could really use the help. He came home. You don't need the help anymore. He's there. He's the father. He can help. He's there. There's nothing wrong with the dynamic of having the husband be the working person and the mother stay home with the kids, because that works for some people, and some people are very happy to live that way. But he is still responsible and a parent. And when he comes home, he helps too. Everybody helps when they are in a family like that. You come home, you don't just get to sit around while your wife is still doing all of the work. She did all of the work all day too. What she is doing is also work all day long. You take care of each other and you help each other. You don't get to come home and sit on the couch. And she doesn't need her sister to help out when the husband has come home. That's the help that you need. Not the asshole. Nobody gets sick from being reminded their husband could put in his fair share of effort on the childcare front unless they're making themselves sick. He needs to put in effort. Especially not after trying to pull the "you're just jealous" card. Tell mom if she's not going to join you in making... Why do you also need 3 people? Maybe you had too many kids that you expected everybody else to pick up after you for. Stop having so many kids. Have less kids if you can't handle it. Also, tell your husband to do better. Maybe. Yeah, when you're married, you're a team. This is not teamwork. This is not how a household should be running. This is very not good. And obviously there are problems because she does not have enough help and she's needing to recruit people outside the home for free and expect them to drop their plans to help because you don't have enough support. Ask your husband for it. Yeah, I'm on the side. You're not the asshole. Your sister's husband's an asshole. But that's all the Am I the Asshole I'm going to read today. We had a lot of non-assholes actually today. Actually, in that one story, a lot of assholes just singularly in that one story. Kind of crazy, kind of ridiculous. I'm going to grab the hugs. We're going to go raid somebody. I don't know who yet. Don't tell me anybody's names to raid. I will take care of it. Ask somebody to come over. You can't force them to stay and do work. And take up responsibility that is not meant to be yours. I'm sure she would have been happy to help. I mean, she was happy to help until the time that she needed to leave, and you need to let her leave because she has her own life and her own responsibilities, her own relationship. I think I might have missed hugs from a few days ago. If you're here, cool. If you're not, I'm very sorry. But Liz Grace, LT Shepherd, Mustardy Raccoon. What is that name? Toastless? The color was hard to read. And I watch y'all was from 5 minutes ago. Bring it in for a hug. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know quite yet what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm thinking Afterlife. It'll be another shorter one because then I'm having a pizza party with Scott. But I am going to be actually maybe 2 hours tomorrow is what I was planning, potentially. An hour and a half or something. I think we'll do Afterlife though. But thank you guys all for joining and hanging out. I had so much fun reading Am I the Assholes. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do because it is just so fun. And I'm going to have you guys raid Cortilli because she's playing Among Us right now. And I feel like I need to get my fix in of watching some Among Us rounds because it has now been so long since I've played, but I can never get in any lobbies because of the time zone difference. When I'm here, just never works out. And then when I go back, I have plans for streams with other games that I'm behind on, and I have so many plans for streams. I'm excited. But I miss Among Us a lot, honestly. It's still such a fun game for me, even though I haven't played it in a while. But go to the apps and analysis people in the chat. If you don't know the rules, ask the mods. Don't break them to find out what the rules are. And bring your good vibes. Thanks for bringing your good vibes here. Appreciate you guys so much. Sorry I'm running out. I've got a pub quiz to go to. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.